Okay, ji, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. A very good evening to all of you and Assalamu Alaikum. I am Hussain Qazi, the facilitator for the subjects of AFM, SBR, FM, and the limited portion of SBL with Mr. Kashif Kamran. The course blend with Kashif Kamran. Okay, now we are going to start our session formally, and you people know very well this is what about the course that's called AFM Question Practice Course. AFM Question Practice Course. So once again, I'm asking you that, is my voice clear to all of you? The screen visualization and my video as well. I will appreciate if you share your input once again. So that's good. So this session is actually about the orientation related to advanced financial management, QPC, that's question practice course, with a new learning outcome, 20 professional marks. So I'm going to start the session. With a brief introduction of my. I am Hussain Qazi, the fellow member of Association of Chartered Certified Accountant. Alhamdulillah, more than 14 years of experience I have. I'm a co-founder of Online Lecturer Academy, as well as the senior faculty member of the Banisi School of Accountancy, a platinum status college of South region of Pakistan. Alhamdulillah, my students having positions not only the nationwide in Pakistan, but global position as well. And ACC have engaged me multiple times, not locally as well as internationally, for different forums to conduct the courses and some CPD development programs. Because my profession is accounting and finance, I'm also associated with a leading firm, HRS Network, working as a director here. So you can contact me during my official hours with the WhatsApp details 0092 321 827 1784. Now quickly, what is the specific agenda? What's the specific agenda for the next 1 or 1.5 hour session? Although the name of the session, that's called AFM QPC, that's question practice course, but what's this session agenda about? Number one, we will discuss quickly what is all about AFM. What is all about AFM? So even the students is going to start the AFM studies from scratch. So you must have to aware that what is all about the AFM. And the students who have already knowledge about the AFM studies, a quick recall, what's AFM about? Number two, then we will discuss what's inside about the AFM new exam format. Number three, what are the real challenges to pass the AFM exam? What are the real challenges? Number four, if at the point three, if we discuss the real challenges to pass the AFM, the next point is that what's the strategy to overcome these challenges? Means what the right strategy, how to make the right direction to overcome these challenges. And number five, how this QPC, how this course, that's question practice course, support to overcome these challenges, or I can say that what is inside related to question practice course. So now, quickly, what is AFM about? What is AFM about? You people know very well that this is the subject about the financial management, and you people have already the strong background of financial management. An examiner has an expectation of that when you are attempting the exam of the advanced financial management, the examining team, the marker, assuming that you people have a good knowledge of the financial management, a sound background. So whenever you are going to start your advanced financial management course, be aware that for every content of the syllabus, you people must have a good knowledge or a strong foundation of F9. That's a key point. So whenever you studied the FM, or even you study the subject AFM, the one very important thing is that your approach to study the finance, like you are an entrepreneur. You are an entrepreneur. So your mindset must be as an entrepreneur, not as an accountant. I must say that you studied the subject of FR, you studied the subject of SBR as well. These subjects that was about the accounting, reporting, that was about past. But whenever you are studying the subject of finance, either AFM or the FM, and even your mindset during the exam, not as an accountant, not about anything related to the past. This subject, your mindset to write the answer as an entrepreneur, as an entrepreneur. So that's why in a company, in any listed organization, two different roles. One role, it's about accounting. Another role is about financial management. So our role with this subject to think like entrepreneur as a finance manager, not as an accountant. So first thing. Number two, whenever we are approaching ahead for this particular subject, our approach must be as future strategy. It's not about the present. It's not about the recording of any transaction. It's about to make a strategy. For example, since your earlier studies, you calculate the NPV. If I ask that, how many times you have calculated the NPV? Can you please reply me? That how many of the times you have calculated the NPV? Can you please reply me? How many of the times you have calculated the NPV? Multiple times, not even to recall how many times. So what is NPV topic about? Is something is about the past or is something about the future? Can you please reply me? I will appreciate if you reply me um, reply me my questions, because the session should be very much interactive. That's very much important. So my question is that whenever you calculate the NPV, is this something about the future aspects or is something about the past? Of course, the NPV calculations, or any of the financial management calculation, that is all about the future. So you must have to prepare your studies, respond the questions in a manner like an entrepreneur, or the mindset of entrepreneur and the mindset of the finance manager, both are same, number one. And the approach must be as a futuristic. That's a key point. So first thing, about FM or AFM, your approach should be as a futuristic. First thing. Number two, with respect to the advanced financial management, there are 5 components in the course. There are 5 components in the course. 5 components. 5 contents of the course. 5 areas of the syllabus in a broader context. 5 areas. Do remember that the syllabus of AFM or any of the optional exams, it's not very extensive. It's not very extensive, but very technical and required very smart techniques to manage the exam. We will discuss later on with this session what is the meaning to manage the exams. Okay, there are 5 areas of the syllabus. Number 1, role of senior financial manager. That is the first thing. Role of senior financial manager. Number 2, advanced investment appraisal. Number 3, acquisition merger. Number 4, corporate reconstruction reorganization. And number 5, treasury and risk management. So quick overview, 5 sections. The role of finance manager. Here, the section A, that's continue with the FM syllabus. But here, the discussion is more about as a senior finance manager. Here, the discussion is more about the multinationals. For example, you people know very well, with respect to the financial management, we have, as a finance manager, we have the core objective based on 3 pillars. What is the core objective of finance manager? The core objective is maximize the wealth of shareholder. That's all. The core objective is to maximize the wealth of shareholder. But to maximize the wealth of shareholder, there are 3 pillars. Number 1, identify the investment opportunity. Number 2, develop the right financing policies. And number 3, the dividend policy. Students, I need a single minute silence because the voice of prayers is coming here from the mosque. A single minute silence. Thank you very much. Okay, connect once again. So, what's the responsibility? What's the objective of the financial manager for to perform the role in the company to maximize the wealth of shareholder? For example, I am the finance manager and you are the shareholder. What is my responsibility? My responsibility is that whatever the amount you have given to the company as an investment, my responsibility is to maximize your wealth. So what's the first pillar to perform this responsibility? Identify the investment opportunity, locally or internationally. Number 1. Number 2, once I identify the investment opportunity, make the strategy to support the finance to invest. So developing the finance policy is the second pillar, because without finance investment, it's not possible to execute. Number 3, once arrange the finance and invest in the investment opportunity, over the period of time, develop a policy of dividend, because dividend is actually about the return to the shareholder. So these 3 important things related to the scope or role of the finance manager. So here with this area of AFM, it's 100% theoretical aspects. Whatever you studied at the FM, that is the foundation. But here, the things are very advanced, like multinational aspects, With the multinationals, how to develop the dividend policy, especially respect to the remittance and so on. It's one example. It's more and more things related to multinationals, other advanced matters related to the listed company and so on. But we will discuss later on with the questions. The common mistakes made by the student is that because this area is 100% theory. This area is 100% theory, 100%. So normally students ignore this part of the syllabus, but examiner sometimes examine a very huge part with the exam. So the scope of the syllabus with this area, that's 25 to 40 marks. That's a key point. So a quick overview what is about the AFM. First section, role of finance manager as a senior person, senior finance manager. Exam scope 25-40%. More about the theory. Number two, another area of the syllabus, that's advanced investment appraisal. Advanced. Whatever the investment appraisal you have studied with the FM, now the advanced point. The advanced, like the topic of adjusted present value, like the topic of foreign investment appraisal, like the topic of option pricing model, like the topic of MIRR duration and more. Once again, whatever you study here, whatever the new things study here, be careful that you have already a strong foundation of FM. The key points related to this area, the key point related to this area, students are in very students are in very hurry to start the advanced method. But ask yourself, have you already recall the earlier matters of the NPV, for example? For example, if you are going to attempt the question of complexity of the foreign investment appraisal, complexity of advanced investment appraisal, but ask yourself, have you already recall the concept of tax saving from capital allowance, the basics of IRR, the basics of payback? If you are till now you are not if you are going to start advanced method, you have to ask yourself that have I already recalled the earlier things? Because if it's earlier strong foundation is not strong, earlier foundation or earlier studies is not strong, then you are not able to develop the advanced things accordingly. Okay, once again, one misconception is advanced investment appraisal is calculation 100%. No. Whenever examiner examining the thing of advanced investment appraisal, like NPV, APV, foreign investment appraisal, do remember that approx 25 to 40% related to theory. Sometimes it's 45%. For example, if there is a question of 25 marks, it's common 25 marks of investment appraisal. It's common. That's 12 marks of theory and 13 marks of calculation. This will be proved by the next class once I will start the question. So balance your preparation. If there are some misconception, avoid that misconception. That's a key point. And the exam scope, yes, the total 100% exam scope is related to 25 out of 100 marks, that's 25 to 35 marks. Yes, it's a combination. It's a combination of theory and calculation. It's a combination. Yes. This is section B. Section C and section D. This is what a collective part of the syllabus and represent almost the 40% of the syllabus. 40-45%. That is a topic acquisition merger. That is a topic corporate reconstruction and reorganization. About acquisition merger, reorganization, the topic you have already studied, that's called business valuation with F9. First, recall the business valuation matters. The topics with the entire syllabus, the student feedback is that this area of syllabus, acquisition merger and business reorganization, that's the most challenging. And mark my words, out of complete syllabus, acquisition merger and business reorganization are the topics where student facing difficulties to pick the question, to develop the direction. If there is a question of advanced investment appraisal, the direction is simple. If the question of risk management, the direction is simple. If the question of financial reconstruction, the direction is simple. But if the question is about acquisition merger or the question about business reorganization, always challenge for the students to pick the question and make the direction, because this topic is not much structured, but we will discuss during the session accordingly. So the details in depth of the things we will discuss with the questions. The topic is the mixture of calculation and theory, and the scope is 25 to 35 for acquisition merger. Section D, two components: reconstruction, reorganization. For example, if a company going to acquire another company, that's acquisition. But if a group of company wanted to realign the objective and sell one of the unit of the business, for example, due to the reason of the COVID, a group of company having business cement, airline and textile. Now they are planning to sell the airline business because it's not profitable since the COVID-19 issue, and focus on textile and cement. So that's called reorganization. Something sell, demerge. This is also about exam scope 25 to 35 marks. And this is the mixture of calculation and theory. Another part of the syllabus, that's called financial reconstruction. This is normally a straightforward points, reconstructions, and what I personally think, it's this part of the question. If examiner examine this question, it's quite easy. What if the company is out of cash and about to liquidate? So examiner normally ask, whatever the reconstruction plan prepared or given with the case study, you have to make a report. It's like a comprehension questions, and it's a mixture of calculation and theory. Exam scope is 25 to 35 marks. Okay, this is how many of you people really having interest about this topic, risk management, that is forex and interest. How many of you people, can you please reply me, how many of people really have interest about this subject, this topic, treasury, risk management, interest? Believe me, this topic is at first glance it shows difficult, but over the period of time, over the practice, as the times goes on, these calculations are structured. Initially are very tricky, but subsequently the things will settle accordingly. If students at the first glance shocked and have created a fear in the mind, then subsequently over the period of time or in the examination, that's maybe possible that student it's not able to perform the things accordingly up to the mark. But it's not big challenge. I will provide you the guideline, inshallah, may Allah willing. It's calculation. It's calculation. Yes, it's a calculation part. It's a calculation part. But yes, it's a calculation, a technical calculation. But we cannot ignore the theory. We cannot ignore the theory. So exam scope 25 to 35 marks. Why I am emphasizing the exam scope? Do remember that it's very important for ACCA professional exams that you have to prepare your studies, make a revision of your studies according to the examiner expectation. The preparation, it's not according to your own wish, according to the examiner expectation. That is the key point. That is the key point. So that's the point. I am emphasizing that how much marks each area of the content um, related to the exam point of view. Okay, so the students who have joined yet now, I must have to recall the things. The agenda of today's session, first of all, the name of today's session is AFM Question Practice Course First Orientation Session. And the agenda of today's session based on 5 things. A quick overview what is about AFM. Number 2, we will discuss what is inside AFM new exam format. Number 3, what are the real challenges to pass the exam? And number 4, what are the strategy to overcome these challenges and how this course will execute. In fact, how this course will support you to qualify your exam, inshallah, may Allah willing. Now, first thing I have quickly discussed what is simple about AFM. First thing, whenever you approach your exam, your mindset must be as an entrepreneur or the finance manager who thinks with the future aspects. That's called a strategy, not as an accountant. Number 2, these are the areas of the syllabus, 5 areas. And the details of the syllabus areas are this, whatever I've discussed. Now, the point is that what inside AFM new exam format, one by one. The first thing, what is the AFM exam structure? All the optional exams of ACCA having the same structure. Section A, 50 marks question, one question 50 marks. Section B, 2 question 25 marks, total 50. The 100% of the question is compulsory. The paper will examine with the CB format. You people know very well. I strongly suggest to all of you, whenever I give you the practice, number 1, you must not practice manually. You must have to practice with the CBE format. With the CBE format. That's a key point. Even the question, it's not available with the CBE format. You have to use the blank space. But be committed that always practice the question with calculation and theory, with calculation and theory, with calculation and theory, with CBE format. Even the question available with your CBE format or not. If not, then using blank space. Number 3, AFM marks allocation with new professional skill marks. One by one. From September 22, from coming September 22, the ACCA has changed the structure of the exams. Right now, I'm discussing the structure, marking structure, not the syllabus. There is no concrete change with the syllabus aspect. In fact, something reduces. So don't worry, we will discuss later on. You can even think about that. No changes in the syllabus, a little bit changes, and even it's something reduced, not adding. Okay, so the first thing, the changes with respect to marking scheme, the changing with respect to marking structure. Number one by one, AFM format, no change. Format means this is the format: section A, section B, 50 marks, 25, 25, no change. Format remains same. Section A, 50 marks question, section B, 25 marks each. Yes, the changes with respect to marking structure. Now the examiner have developed a new balance that's called technical skill marks and professional skill marks. And out of 100, 80 marks related to technical and 20 marks related to professional. That's the first thing. That's the first thing. Sir, how this 20 professional marks will examine? How this will examine? This 20 professional marks, in fact, indulge with section A 50 marks question, including 10 professional marks. I can say if examiner will examine 50 marks question, 40 technical and 10 professional marks. Section B, 25 marks, 2 questions, and 5 maximum marks out of 7 professional marks of each question. Means total marks available is higher, but you can avail maximum 5 marks. So make it simple. 5 marks, 5 marks. Total 10 marks section B, each with 25 marks question respectively, and 10 professional marks with respect to section A. Number one. Sir, what are the what professional skills are examined here? The students who have already studied the subject of SBL know very well about the professional skill marks. But don't worry, if you haven't studied SBL, that's not compulsory. This is not compulsory that you have to study first SBL. If you haven't studied the SBL, you can easily learn the things accordingly. There are 4 things that can examine by the examiner. Number 1, communication. Number 2, analysis and evaluation, the professional skills. Number 3, skepticism. Number 4, commercial acumen. Examiner will expect you that any of the student must have a good command, not with respect to technical, but well with respect to the communication as well. Communication skills with respect to analysis, skepticism, report writing, commercial acumen, all these things. Sir, what the details of these 4? Wait, hold on. I will discuss in depth during the sessions. And I will provide one important thing to you where you can get the things how these 4 in depth it's going to examine. How professional skills will examine. Number one, attached to the overall question. This is what the professional marks will attach with the questions rather than individual requirement. Section A, 50 marks, 1 question. With section A, all 4 professional skill marks will examine. With section A, all 4. But section B, 25 marks, 2 questions. Only 3 professional skills will examine. Which 3? Other than communication. The professional skills related to communication only examined with question 1. Basically, communication, the professional skills about communication is about report writing structure. So report writing is actually examined with the section A. Section B question, it's not about report writing. So examiner not expecting any professional skills related to communication, but related other three: analysis, evaluation, skepticism, commercial acumen. That will examine either three, either two. It's the wish of the examiner, how the examiner will examine. The very important note: no standard combination. There is no standard combination of professional skills. Marks are not necessarily be split across the skills being tested. I mean, here the meaning is that it's not compulsory that there is some standard marking here. Maybe the variation depends on the situation, depends on the questions. Yes, professional skills will examine as interconnected and tied with technical requirement. Means technical skills and professional skills both are interrelated. For example, examiner is examiner expecting you to calculate the NPV, and whatever the assumptions you have taken to calculate the NPV, so you have to respond that assumption as a challenge. For example, I am a management, you are a finance manager. I have given you some information to calculate NPV of the project. Now, today, you are presenting a report to me. Sir, whatever the information you have given to me, I have calculated NPV and NPV is positive. This is technical requirement. But you also reply, sir, whatever the information you have given to me, I'm going to ask some questions. In a simple word, you are challenging. Sir, you have given me the data related to tax. The project life is 10 years and tax rate we have taken with the NPV, that's constant. It may be possible the tax rate will change. So this is what about the challenge of information, that's called professional skills, so-called skepticism. Another point, sir, you have given me the information about the inflation, and inflation may change, growth rate may change, expected cash flows may change, and these things will impact on NPV calculation. So examiner not expecting only the technical skills, but also the professional skill which is interconnected with technical matter. That's one example I have given to you. Another example, you people know, I am going to ask a question to you. Hello, are you with me? Please reply me. Do you agree that NPV of any investment appraisal in the practical world is a paperwork? Is a paperwork. Paperwork means it's just a documentation. It's just a document. Do you agree? In the practical world, for example, if there is investment opportunity you are evaluating, the NPV calculation is only a paperwork, but it's not compulsory if you actually implement all the things equal to the paperwork. Do you agree that? Or do reply me. If you don't reply me, then what's the benefit of the online sessions, exclusive online sessions? It's only a Yes, it's only a paperwork, sir. It's only a paperwork. But whatever the paperwork we make, that should be based on reality. That should be based on reality. For example, if we make NPV for any particular project that is outside the country, but my business is having some specialized nature, specialized machinery, specialized nature. I have prepared the NPV, but not consider that with the international market for this special machinery, how labor will arrange, how labor will arrange, how manpower will arrange. If my NPV is not supportive with the strategy to the arrangement of labor or manpower, this is not practical. This is not realistic to get this NPV, to make NPV, or to implement that particular project to get the NPV positive. So whatever we are going to make, whatever we are making with the calculation, that should be realistic. And this realistic called business acumen. Business acumen means business sense. So examiner wants to make discussion with the professional skills like communication, like challenge the information skepticism, like business acumen, professionalism, and more things we will discuss, analysis and evaluations. But we will discuss later. About in-depth of the professional skills. About in-depth of the professional skills. You can watch this video from my YouTube channel. This link. After the session, you will be able to get all the slides. So you must have to go with, you must have to subscribe my YouTube channel where a lot of videos related to AFM, SBR, and FM as well. And its particular video name AFM 20 Professional Skill Marks by Hussain Qazi, where it's about 1.5 hour video. I have discussed what is all about the new professional skills. But during this particular sessions, during these this particular sessions, whatever the past paper we will discuss, we will consider here, we will work out with the technical and the professional marks. Now come on, these are the samples. Sample. What is this? This is the sample exam requirement, AFM exam requirement. How the professional and technical marks will examine here. For example, highlighted point. This is AFM practice exam 2 valid for September 22. 50 marks requirement. I'm not here to discuss the complete case. These are the requirement. Requirement A, B, C, 3 requirement A, B, C. But the point is that right side here, professional marks. 10 professional marks. What it's mentioned here, professional marks will be awarded for demonstration of the skills, communication, analysis, evaluation, skepticism, commercial acumen is your answer. 4 things: communication, analysis and evaluation, skepticism, and commercial acumen. This is what the requirement I have attached here with my presentation that's published by the ACCA. A sample paper. 3 sample paper available. We will discuss all the sample papers during the QPC, question practice course. So these are the professional marks accordingly. That is how the examiner examine the things. Means the professional marks requirement, it's not any independent element. It's indulged with your technical requirement. This is another sample. This is September 22 valid, requirement 25 marks. 25 marks question. 13 marks A requirement, 7 marks B requirement, and 5 marks. That is the professional marks. Professional mark awarded for skills, analysis and evaluation, skepticism, and commercial acumen. That is the point. So the second point we have discussed, what's about the insight related to AFM professional skills marks, including 20 professional skill marks. Further, we will discuss with the execution of the questions. Okay. Can you please reply me? Are you happy here? I mean, do you have any question here? Yes, can you please reply me? Do you have any question? Please reply. Any question here? You can ask a question. Till now, we have discussed what is about AFM. Number one, what is about AFM? Number two, um, what's inside about the new professional skills matter? Yes, whenever the examiner examine, for example, with the section B, examiner says that analysis evaluation is capitalism and commercial acumen. We will apply accordingly. And do remember, we don't need to make any headings about it. We don't need to make any heading about it. That's the important point. That's already indulged. The students who have already appeared for AFM exams and not able to qualify the exams and struggling for the AFM exams, do remember that it's nothing extra. It's nothing extra with the AFM, the 20 professional marks, which means that whatever the sample or the model answers available of ACCA, it's same like this. But examiner wants to emphasizing that student must apply the sample answers techniques with these requirements, with these contents. There is no change, but more emphasizing about the communication matter. Communication here means how to apply the soft skills matters. That's the point. Another question, how to prepare for the theory of AFM? Marks my word. Prepare your mind. Your paper will approximate 70% theory and 30% calculation. 70% theory and 30% calculation. Prepare with this direction. If actually 55% theory, 45 calculation, you already prepared. So always make the preparation with the worst scenario. The first thing. Sir, how to prepare the theory? I will discuss the point later on with with the today's session about the theoretical aspects. First of all, prepare your mind. AFM, it's not about only calculation. It's a combination of theory and calculation. And it's more about theory. So you must first you have to develop your mind and prepare with the strategy. And for the sake of theoretical aspects, what the things you required, even the calculation, theory plus calculation, you have a good enough knowledge of entire syllabus, not the cherry picking. Good enough knowledge of entire syllabus, either from your regular course, either from your book, self-study, whatever. First of all, you have to complete your entire syllabus, theory plus calculation. Then, using the exam technique to attempt the exam. And I will discuss this point later on, how to work out accordingly. So this is the first point. 2 points we have discussed: AFM contents. Number 2, AFM new professional skills matter. Now, what are the real challenges for AFM success? What are the real challenges for the AFM success? Real challenges. AFM success challenge. What are the challenges? The most important thing. The very important thing. The passing rate is 40%. The passing rate is 40%. So the real challenge is that how to make a strategy, how to develop a strategy to become part of this under 40%. How to make a strategy to part of this under 40%. We should have to make a strategy that's our result under 40%. Because If you attempted the exam of SBR, SBL, the passing rate is almost 50%. But here the passing rate is 40%. All optional exams passing rate is under 40%. So actual question is that what is the right direction to become part of this 40%? First of all, you have to make a commitment, make a promise of yourself. Sir, I must be very much committed. Whatever the direction you will provide, whatever the strategy you will say, we will opt it. So yes, you have to make a commitment by yourself. The first thing, commitment. So how to pass? Under 40% means quality preparation, not preparation, quality preparation. Sir, what is the meaning of quality preparation? What is the meaning of quality preparation? Three things. If anybody asks you that what is the right direction for the AFM success, you have to mention these 3 points. Number one, complete syllabus knowledge, either from your regular studies, either self-study from the book, either from if you're taking tuitions or any classes, from the notes of the teacher, whatever they say that he or she say that complete the syllabus accordingly. But complete syllabus knowledge, either theory, either calculation. You people are least concerned about the theory. First of all, a good enough knowledge of entire syllabus. Number two, practice. Do remember, knowledge is the one part to qualify the exam. Plus, you have to add on the practice with the exam or smart technique. These two combinations develop the result. Equal important, both are equal important. For practice, you have to simulate. Sir, what is the meaning of simulate? Simulate means if any of the teacher or me give you a question for practice, so you have to simulate the question. There is a difference between just practice and simulate. Simulate means you are attempting the question like you are sitting in the examination hall. Number one, if you are sitting in the examination hall, your mobile phone must be switched off. Shut down your door, open the system, open CB format, and start attempt question. For example, 25 marks question. You have to make a timer for 25 marks question, multiply by whatever the allocated time. For example, 45 minutes. 45 minutes focused, assuming you are sitting in the examination hall. And if you are attempting the question, don't only attempt the calculation, but also attempt the theory. That's a combination of calculation plus theory. For example, 45 minutes. Ask yourself, if I'm sitting in the examination hall, will you ask to the invigilator, should I attempt the theory? Ask yourself. No, you have to attempt it. But during practice, you people are least concerned to attempt the theory. If there is a 25 marks question and 13 marks theory, you just practice the 12 marks calculation and leave or least concerned about the theory. Yes or no? Reply me. Am I lying to you? Is this wrong? This is absolutely right. Least concerned about the theory. So what? Same behavior reflect with the examination. Same behavior reflect with the examination. Then how it's possible to qualify the exam? What before the exam, whatever you are doing, this is actual reflect with the examination. So that is the point. Whatever assignment we give to you, you have to attempt it. If we announce any mock exam, you have to attempt it. You have to attempt it. You have to attempt it accordingly. That's the key point. That is the key point. So this is what about the key strategy for the exam success. All the contents knowledge you have and the practice accordingly. With this course, with this particular live course, I will provide a free hand to you. Whatever the assignment I will give to you, a free hand to all of you, all the registered students. You have to submit me to the email address to me, and I will respond it accordingly. By next 1 month, by next 5 weeks, this is my responsibility to respond to you and and identify the mistake, whatever the question you have done. That's the point. So I will provide you the feedback. But the first thing is that you have to submit the thing accordingly and submit according to the CB format, not the manual. The fifth point, the four things we have discussed till now. Number one, what is about AFM? Number two, new marking allocation scheme of the AFM paper, AFM exam. Number three, what the challenge of AFM success. Number four, how to overcome challenge. Number five, what is about QPC course? What is about QPC course? Question practice course. What is this about? Number one, AFM QPC. This is what about the sessions. These are almost exclusive live sessions. And if you people miss any live sessions, the recordings will be available accordingly. The very first thing, what is QPC? It's about the sessions are based on latest AFM exam practice question. Latest AFM exam question, including the learning about the technical as well as new professional marks. It's a pure question practice course. It's exclusive question practice course. We attempt the question, all the question we will attempt, including technical and the professional marks. The course is not from the day one. From the day one, I will take one question, either 25 or 50 mark question. I will attempt with the CB format, or if it's available with the CB, otherwise with the Excel or the blank sheet. I will attempt with the spreadsheet. I will discuss the theoretical aspect with all the professional marks. You can knock me if I am not discussing any professional marks of any of the question. All professional, all question, all professional, every questions with professional marks. If you people don't make this blunder, if you people think that right now we are preparing, initially we are just preparing with the technical skills marks, and last 10 days or last 1 week we will practice with the 20 professional marks. This will be the blunder. This will be the direction to fail the exam. No, don't do that, because 20 professional marks is indulged. It's a part of the course. It's a part of the question. Don't do that. From the day one, prepare your studies with professional marks. If any of the student make mistake that, okay, we have 50 days, we will cover with the technical aspect 40, 22 or 43 days, and last 7 days we will cover the professional marks. This will be the blunder. This is total dishonesty. The first thing. Second point thing, if someone asks that, sir, out of 100 marks, 20 marks is professional, so we will completely ignore the 20 professional marks and attempt 80 marks solid. Mark my word, if you solid attempt on 80 marks and ignore 100% professional marks, examiner will fail you. It's mentioned with the document of the ACCA exam team. You have to indulge your professional skills point. That is the point. So how QPC work? How does this work? The sessions are exclusively online, thrice a week, weekly 3 live sessions with total 50 hours course. And there is a progress evaluation system. Progress evaluation means regularly I will give you the assignments, but the students will get regular assignments, and once they will submit the answer, these answers are marked. These answers are marked. I will give you the questions, you have to submit it. I will give you the mark accordingly. That's the point. Moreover, QPC learning outcomes. What you will get at the end of the course? At the end of the course, you will be able to get the things accordingly. That 9 questions I will attempt section A. That's 50 marks question. This course I will discuss 9 questions of 50 marks and 18 questions of 25 marks. And this is actually from September 18 till December 2021, all questions. If the questions exist with the CB format, I will discuss with the CB format. If not available with the CB format, I will discuss or I will make the calculation either Excel or the blank format. Inshallah, may Allah willing, whatever the practice question I will attempt, this will cover the entire syllabus area. Practicing the question, that's cover entire syllabus area. I will discuss the drafting techniques, how to draft the answer with the new professional marks, that's a part. And practice exclusive with the CB format, no manual calculations, it's a CB format calculation. Even if I attempt the question with the Excel sheet, I will use only the functions used with the spreadsheet matters of the ACC spreadsheet matters. Only I will use the functions for that's available with the spreadsheet functions. Progress evaluation system, assignments and the feedbacks. And I will provide you 2 mock exams. I am not committing, I'm not promising you to give the individual feedback for each mock, but I will provide a mock debriefing, a live mock debriefing for both mocks, where I will discuss what is about the question, how to attempt, and all these things. But individual feedbacks, I'm not promising, because I have another course of the SBR and a limited part of the SBL. If I will have some time, that's provide the individual feedbacks. Otherwise, I will provide mock debriefings. But yes, for assignments, I will give you the individual feedbacks. That's the point. Another very important point, assume knowledge. This course is about question practice course, where I am assuming that students have already the knowledge of AFM course. For example, if I'm going to attempt for the APV, I have assumption that for APV, you have good knowledge of the course with the regular. I'm here to discuss the question. So it's not about the concept building course. It's about the practicing, handling the exams. Course duration 5 weeks, total 50 hours. This is the live sessions duration. That's 7:30 Tuesday 7:30 to 10:45, Friday 7:30 to 10:45, Saturday 8 to 9:30, Sunday 7:30 to 10:45. Normally the student asks these questions, frequently asked questions. Lectures accessibility till the September 22 exams. In case of the missed lectures, you will get recordings. Yes, may Allah willing, we will provide a past paper discussions, computer based exams, latest question, and WhatsApp. All the registered students, you will be the part of the WhatsApp classroom. So this is the point. 1 AFM question practice course glimpse. One of the sample for you people. Can you please apply me till now? Is there any question till now you have? Then I'm providing an initial aspect, how to handle the theoretical aspect of AFM, including the technical and the professional marks. A glimpse. Yes, any question? Okay, take a 2 to 3 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes, a short break, then a basic a basic discussion about how I will conduct the AFM question practice course. That's a simple glimpse. Take a 3 minutes short break. So take some energy um, accordingly. Thank you. A 3 minutes break, short break. Okay. Um, a glimpse of it's about the AFM question practice course. Let's suppose there is a question, a sample question called Emberley, and this is what about the question related to investment appraisal, in advanced investment appraisal, and that is part B. I'm not discussing in depth about this question right now, but I just say that the question part A related to investment appraisal and question part B related to finance support to the investment appraisal. And there's a question, discuss the factors which may determine the long-term financing policy which Emberley Company's board may adopt. So here the board is concerned about the arrangement of the finances more, and it's more about the debt financing. And you people know that for in support of the investment, there are two possibilities of the financing. There's the debt financing and the equity financing. So here the concern about that, the long-term financing policy, and more thing about the debts. And the professional marks here, the examiner is concerned related to analysis and evaluation. It's not about the skepticism. It's not about the, right now we are not discussing skepticism or the business acumen. And the marks allocated professional 5. So assumingly, we are here to discuss about handling this part B question, including 5 professional marks. Including 5 professional marks. So we are here to discuss the technical aspects as well as the professional aspects, and particularly for the theoretical aspect. Whenever the students going to practice or attempt with for the exam for AFM theory, so we will discuss that point as called drafting technique. Drafting technique. So whenever I call that drafting technique, that means teacher or me here, Hussain Qazi, it's going to discuss the things about how to handle the theoretical aspect to cover the technical and professional. Okay, the very first thing to handle the theory, even for calculation or theory, irrespectively, it's plan your answer. The very first thing is about the plan your answer. Examining documents, examiner report particular mention that students don't be hurry to attempt the question without any planning. First of all, you have to make a good planning of the question. Good plan of the question. I strongly suggest if you have 3 hours, I know that you have a time of 3 hours 15 minutes, but approx 3 hours 180 minutes, you have to spend at least 20% of the entire time for planning. 20% of the time for planning. If you plan good for your questions, that you will be able to qualify the exam in a very simple manner, rather than without planning start execution and then worried about that what to write and what not to write. It's not the right direction to attempt the paper. So number one, plan your answer. Sir, what includes in the planning? Planning includes two things. Whenever you are planning the things, planning includes two components. Number one, planning for time. Number two, planning for marks. Means time management and marks management. Time management and marks management. Sir, what is the meaning of time management? Whenever we are planning the question, time management means we have to stick with the allocated time. Means if I'm going to attempt the 5 marks question, so I must have to calculate my time. The golden rule is that you people know very well. You have total 180 minutes for 3 hours, and you have to plan for 100 marks. So 180 divided by 100, that means 1.8 minutes for each mark. That is the golden rule. And for 5 marks, that means you have 9 minutes. So whenever you are planning, first of all, quickly calculate. I have 9 minutes. And this 9 minutes includes two things. This 9 minutes includes two things. This 9 minutes includes two things. Planning and execution. That's a key point. So first of all, you must be strict with the allocated time. Because if you spend more than 9 minutes for 5 marks question, for this question, actually at the end of the exam, after 3 hours, you will lose some marks. For example, if you spend 15 minutes, so that means you have spent 6 minutes extra here. The examining, the invigilator will not allow you extra time here. And you have to develop a mindset that if I'm going to exam, I have to attempt the approx 100% question. 100 marks, complete 100 marks. How I will attempt the 100 marks question or complete question, that's another discussion we will discuss later. So first thing with the planning, stick with the allocated time. Number two, and the time management, you know that 20% planning and the 80% execution. For 9 minutes, you have to plan for 2 minutes for the planning and 7 minutes for the execution. Number two, the second thing for the planning. The first thing, the time. Then another thing, the marks. Marks means how much to write, and what to write. Number one, how much to write means according to the marks. Always write the answer according to the marks. For example, if there are 5 marks question, and I know very well about this, so I have to write good enough to get the 5 marks. If I write more, there will be two disadvantages. Number one, I will spend more time. Number two, examiner will not, even if I write more, if examiner will not allocate me more marks. The maximum marks, that's 5 here. 5 marks means maximum 3 well-explained points. What points? 3 well-explained points. So number one, how much to write? Number two, what to write? How much means according to the marks. 5 marks, 3 well-explained points. What to write? The right here, the skills we need to develop, technical and professional. And I strongly suggest, before writing, plan your mind, what are the key points that I will write? What are the key points I will write? So key points, for example, what to write here, you people know very well that the key points is the blend of two things, technical marks and professional marks. So initially, I strongly suggest to the student initially about what to write. Student must have to think the technical aspect, then automatically blend the thing with the professional marks. What I say that highlighted key points. I will I strongly suggest to the student you have to plan initially with the technical marks, then indulging the things of the professional marks. But do remember that whenever you are attempting the theoretical part, first of all, you have to recall the background of the question. Background. The background, for example, background means the context of the case is important. Whenever you read the question, so and attempting the theory, so context of the question, for example, context means the company related to the industry, cement industry, they have a plan internationally. So this is context where the labor are scarce, the company previously struggling with arrangement of the finance. This is the context. Do remember that AFM exam and all the optional exams and all the professional skill exams, generic answer is not acceptable. Whatever the point you will write, you must have to relevant or the connect with the case. For example, the case of Emberly here. I haven't discussed the complete case here, and it's not my plan for discuss here for an initial class. We will discuss later. The context of Emberly is that previously they used the mixture of debt and equity. And the new investments is about exclusively debts, new debts. This is context. And now the company need to develop the long-term finance. And they wanted to take up the loan and also wanted to repay the loan accordingly. The point is that the context is very important, because whatever you will write, that should connect with the context. So the point should be relevant if, or in your mind, the point, whatever the point you will develop, that must be relevant with the context of the case. That's a key point. Now, for example, this case, the key points, the technical key points. What the technical points in your mind? Number one, if the company go for debt finance, so debt is a cheaper source of finance. But if we arrange the debts, there will be risk. So risk is more debts, equity holder facing more risk, more interest, repayment of loan. But return is that debt is cheaper source of finance. That is the point you have to recall. That is the risk, repayment, but the benefit. That's the point. You have to talk yourself in your mind. The first point. 5 marks, you have decided 3 points. Number 2, what are the sequence of the finance that should follow? In the F9, you studied the theory, packing order theory. Packing order, first the company, if the company going to arrange the finance, first check the internal source, retain earning. Then go for cheaper source debts. Then go for expensive shares, expensive finance, equity shares. Sequence, second point. Third, matching the cash flows. For example, if I'm going to invest for the construction of building, 4 years project, year 1 no return, year 2 no return, construction, first year construction, second year construction, third year construction, fourth year construction will complete and then get the return from the customers by selling the buildings or selling the apartments. So this is what investment and the return. If I'm going to arrange the finance, for example, bank loan. So bank loan, the repayment of the bank loan must match with the return of investment. If I commit to the bank loan, I wanted to get the loan of 2 years for this project. So that means arrangement of finance is not matched with this 4 years investment, because 4-year investment return will actually recover at 4th year, but I'm going to commit with the bank with the 2nd year. So arrangement of finance must be matched with the investment points or the investment returns, investment payback, so called. So that is the points that we have to think about first, then attempt accordingly. This is what about the technical point. This is the technical point. These are technical. But I also have to spend some time that yes, these are the technical points, but related to some evaluations, related to long-term finance. So I'm not discussing in depth about what about the analysis. By the way, analysis and evaluation with the professional marks are 5 components. You can watch my video about the professional skill matters. By the way, I will discuss with the later on classes in depth about that. There are the 5 components, but here the analysis and evaluation, where the things is that identify relevance, relevant factor, and link with the case. That is the point. That's the point. So this is what about the professional marks. So whatever the professional marks, that's called analysis and evaluation. Here the red highlighted point, that is the point that I picked. The professional marks, that's analysis and evaluation. So whatever the technical points I've highlighted previously, that is the cheaper source of finance, that benefit risk sequence, and the matching of finance. Now I'm going to write the answer with the professional tone of analysis and evaluation, and that is called here analysis. We will get the fix from the question, and then connect with the case. That is called identify the relevant points and then link with the scenario. Identify the facts and link with the scenario is the professional skills. I repeat, identify the relevant points and connect with the case is the professional skills. So even I said earlier, if you already attempted the AFM question exams and not able to qualify, this is not new. Previously exams, normally you identify the points or identify the facts and connect with the case. But now examiner are more emphasizing the things. That's the point. So don't be worried about the professional skill marks. This is all about the practice. But then worried about this, that's we will have to make practice and make a direction towards the success. You cannot make success if you are not putting yourself in the hard work position. I'm ready for this. Now it's your turn. So this is what a glimpse of the matter, how to handle the theoretical aspect. I hope that you will get the point. So is there any question here? Any of the question? The session is over now for today's. This is an orientation session about the AFM question practice course that's I've designed accordingly. Now I'm going to start the session from as per the schedule, the next class according to the schedule. And yes, one thing very important, from the very first class with my registered students, I will share on the WhatsApp about the details of the question I'm going to discuss. And that's a complete roadmap and the complete so-called the question grid according to the content of the syllabus. For example, first content, that's about, I will discuss the advanced investment appraisal. So I will highlight or I will mention for advanced investment appraisal, these are the questions from September 18 to December 21. And then these are the, for example, 5 questions. And then I will attempt it accordingly. So it's better that you will work out previously accordingly. It's better to attempt the question before the question, before the class, that's very good. And regularly I provide you the assignments. So you have any question, you can ask me. One of the question that, yes, whatever the material I'm going to discuss here with the PowerPoint or Excel sheets, that's available to the registered students, no worries. Another question, that if the students have got 46 to 48 marks, what is the likely to be the problem? The very first thing is that if you get the marks, that's 45, 42, whatever, first of all, identify your mistake. And the very important thing that you have to read the examiner report. If you read the examiner report, you will recall the things, whatever you attempt with the exam, during exam, and what the examiner expectation. So that's you identify the gap. Normally 46, 48 marks, but the students get 45, 46, 48 marks. That means the problem about handling the exam, the time management, allocation of the marks, these things. So that is the point. So time management is the key point. Do remember that all the optional exam, it's including AFM, it's not about the knowledge. It's not only about the knowledge, but apply the knowledge according to the exam techniques. That's I discuss here. um, Time management and marks management, what to write, how much to write, weightage of the marks, and all these things. If you wanted to registered with that particular course, if you have already registered, that's good. If you wanted to register um, with the course, you can contact me through the WhatsApp 0092 321 827 1784. You can contact me. The price of the course is not much expensive. It's very nominal. It's very, very nominal. You just contact me on the WhatsApp. I will share you the details. The WhatsApp number 0092 321 827 1784. Subscribe my YouTube channel as well. You will get you will be able to get this video as well. I will upload this by tomorrow morning, this video. Anything else you wanted to know, do let me know. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. I strongly suggest you can join the WhatsApp group as well. WhatsApp group, that's AFM Talk. AFM Talk by Hussain Ghazi, where we it's an open public group. It's open public group where we regularly discuss the things of the AFM, and I will active that particular group more with the sessions accordingly. So thank you very much. Take care a lot. Assalamu alaikum. I really appreciate that if you give um, a feedback of today's session on the WhatsApp group or the Facebook. I will really appreciate. That will encourage to me to provide more positive things to you. If you really get some inputs, valuable inputs today, do reply me, do constructive reply me on the Facebook or the WhatsApp group, whatever. Thank you very much. Take care a lot. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you. Thank you.